Okay, hello. Welcome to today's analysis of the NQ. It is Wednesday, the 24th of September. Okay, I didn't make a video yesterday. I was really busy, but let's go over what happened. So, I actually said there was a chance we could range from here, which was a bit preemptive. Didn't say I was going to short into it. I think I actually said, if you want to, if it lines up with, if you think it's a good idea, you could, but I didn't recommend it. I'm focusing on the levels below us as local demand, right? If it's an overwhelmingly obvious short, maybe you can short into one of those levels, but at the end of the day, treating them as demand. So it's smarter to just wait for price to come in. In this current environment, it's smarter, I think, to wait for price to come into them to get some longs. But anyway, we had a massive short squeeze, and it was interesting up here because the NQ and the CME didn't take this high. When we were in this zone, I was like, this could be some kind of reaccumulation, but the NAS 100 did take that high, which was interesting. And it came down. I'm still treating this as like, you know, liquidity engineering. This kind of like square move to me kind of makes me feel like there wasn't immediately enough liquidity down here to come for. They manufactured liquidity internally. I wouldn't be surprised if we retraced a lot of this and then hung out here and then came down. Now we are in a breaker, which Andre mentioned on the indices channel. We are in a breaker. Volume gap here. My levels were a bit higher. Breakers that are based on equal lows always give me strange vibes. But that's just me. You know, it might be the perfect place to take a short. Could be. I have a feeling we could come a bit higher. So I have some levels marked up here. I mapped out this consolidation. We have our mitigation and then our push down into our terminal breaker structure. We come up, wash, and then we break this low. And then we have another final wash, which is our HHBD, for higher high before downtrend. We have that here. Then we push down again, up, kind of dance around, and then push down. We have some liquidity areas up here. I'm looking at 24,951 up to 24,970. Could be something like a US wick into here. Or we roll over straight from here, but I don't have much to back it up other than we are in a breaker. That's all that I actually kind of really have here. So we could break through the breaker and come up a bit higher. Like overall, even though this PA is ugly, we did come into liquidity, like internal liquidity, into a 45-minute block that was technically mitigated, and we've gotten a 15 like a minute change. We've had change of character, and we got a hidden div they could just push it up again, you know? Like, there's a lot of things here that could mean a big push up. Now, the thing about this is, the one thing I will say is the wash that we got, the displacement that we have down here after we took that liquidity point into this block, the liquidity change that we got here was internal mostly, meaning that before we took this little structural point here, we didn't have anything coming into it and then close up. So I would be, let's say we came into this liquidity point and then very quickly closed, changed character up here. It would be much more, you know, and then retrace and then push up again, would be much more bullish. But we danced around in here. Our first change of character was really this. This guy getting taken, right? We actually had another wash there before we took this. Which, as a result, builds liquidity under here. And we have to remember that our bearish change of character is still in play. We had full bear divs on the 2 hour, money flow divving on the 2 hour, internal money flow hidden div on the NQ, on the CME, which led to this change of character. So the trend that's the start of what seems like the start of a prevailing trend would be this bearish one. So when we come up to supply, the hell out, in my opinion, if you're in a long, even if there's a chance that it could come up again, which would be kind of nuts, but I mean, hey, it's the NQ. Just get out at supply. My take on it. Now, okay, let's say we do come down. What's the story with that? Well, our LLBU down here is this guy. I would be looking for a strong swing fail of this guy. It's into a 6 hour OB, so something like this. Well, I think past range point of control down here. Has to leave you up. Now, I'm not a huge fan of what's below this area. Let's take a look at why. Okay, sure. We have this liquidity curve here, LLBU here. Before this broke structure here, I remember looking. Sorry, I hit my mic. I remember looking at this zone, and I can see it again here. It's just not what I like to see. Isn't there? This push up, okay, had no internal wash. Let's say this had a liquidity point like this that got washed with this. Here, tick. And then we pushed up. I'd like this low more, for sure, but it didn't do that. The last time we got that was actually here. So here, look at that. So this is our little break of our structural break point here. Okay. What was the last low that got taken before that? It was kind of this guy before we broke up into this structure, right? So all in all, could we swing fail this point? Yeah. Would I put limits there? I don't know if I would, and if I did, I would be. This is a wash. It is. All right. If I did put a limit there, maybe my invalidation would be this guy. But I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the structure there. It's not the kind of structure I'm confident in. So I would like to see demand come in at this 6 hour block. Realistically, I wouldn't really be playing with anything lower. What happened? Come back. Here we go. I wouldn't like to be playing with anything lower. I'd like to see solid demand come in here. 24,700 or so. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see once we got that when we get there. If we get there. Structural points. I mean, even this LLBU getting a lot of bearish activity around here. So let's say we come down into it, get what seems like a swing fail, and then we go like this, and then down, and then ooh, we end up breaking down. I could see it as a point that could become structural flip zone. And then I would be very careful until we came down into my little level that I'm just really curious to see down here, which is the rate cut wick. Hey, if they bought here for the rate cut and they can get back there and buy it up again, why wouldn't they? We have so we have 2 money flow interest points. One here is a 24-minute. I can show you how I do this in the future. It's actually lining up, is it? Okay, well, this one might not work the same way anymore. Might come deeper into this zone, which kind of makes sense. We have a make point of control, volume gap, 7-minute OB at the bottom of this area. But anyway, there is interest around here. 24,400. There is interest, and this is our larger time frame break of structure, which I was saying was, it says an exclamation mark. It can still get that nasty wick and maintain its structure and actually be good for it. You know, if we do come into this zone and we get reaccumulation here, that could be huge. It could be really nice. So yeah, everything right now is banking on this guy. Where is my squid LLBU? That's very old. This should be. Okay. That guy's there. The squid guy should be this guy. Squid. There you go. LBU. All right. Sorry, what was I saying? What was I saying? Everything here is nested inside of this. We can come down and we can confirm this and have it push up. So we're really playing with this point, right? And then for now this, but you know, whatever happens before we come into here, unless we manufacture such incredible like washing here that it's like very, very noticeable break structure and liquidity mitigation and all that stuff, I'm going to treat this as just a very extended kind of liquidity manufacturing process to get some nice orders filled down here. Oh, I'm going to look at it. We're getting a reaction off that breaker right now. Maybe Andre was right. Just short the breaker. Well, he didn't say that, but I don't really have any models to back this up. So, like timing models and stuff. So, we'll see. But that looks like it could come down. Anyway, it is a bit vague for me right now. I'd like to see some very clear kind of like it to drag itself out a small bit more and just see how that reacts to this zone. But anyway, might not take any trades today. All in all, 6-hour OB. That failing, maybe we could look at stuff down here, but I don't even really like it. There is a point of control here. There is a point of control here. Perhaps taking this low will give us something. I'll see when we get there. It's a bit vague for me right now, and it looks a bit sketchy. So we are playing with this zone. Yeah, this low gets taken. The one we're currently in. Are even 24,765. If we push through that, I am waiting big time for us to come into that lower level. No. I have 12-minute and 45-minute bullish MFI here, but I think it's actually, has it been interacted with? At that push. And 12-minute. Yeah. So I'm not really interested in that level anymore. So if we take this low, zoop, down into the 6-hour OB, but even then, for a while, would be it could be a kind of accumulation game. I would say if we close below 24,765, that I would be entertaining that as a break of structure. Relative break of structure. You know, take it down, boom, boom, straight into demand. So, you know, that break of structure might get you this kind of push down, but I would be aware that we could just get straight reacceptance and come back up into this zone and then bring it down, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, just for understanding that just because this is a break of structure doesn't mean you short it. Wait for it to break structure and then wait for it to retrace, and, you know, doing all this stuff. Internal kind of washes, and then maybe you can go for the lower block. Yeah. That's it. Money flow is still fairly strong here. You know? I don't know about this whole breaker situation. The way that we came up here, like, I liked it. Just in hindsight, you know, we had Japan taking out kind of US liquidity and Sydney at the same time. We got a nice like wash. Asia took liquidity and broke structure nicely. Did, you know? But hey, maybe the breaker just does the job. Maybe it does. As I said, my timing models don't line up perfectly here, and I got up a bit late and a bit out of the flow of today, which happens. My own fault. Happens. Sorry, keep it in the mic. Yep, it's kind of just gonna set up for US now. Maybe we could get a scalp or two, but that's it for today. It's mostly focusing on levels that are below us and waiting. And then I have this cheeky idea for if the breaker doesn't hold, that we have some points above us to a nice high volume node and some gaps and washes that maybe could bring us down. Okay, that's it for me. Trading. And yeah, see you tomorrow.